Another common pyro. I'll take. This has 260 comments. What did Pyromancer do now? Did he not cry at the right moment in the MSQ again? Did this prove that he's a psychopath? 1 to 2 ads are fine. 8 unskippable ads makes the content unwatchable, especially live content. It's either ad blocker or I just don't watch at all. We're all going ad blind, and the more ads they serve us, the less we pay attention and the less our eyeballs are worth. But that's actually true, by the way. It's like a diminishing return. Well, this is what Pyro says. Well, if you aren't subbing, then you may as well unfollow and leave the stream, because if you aren't doing anything to support the streamer, sorry if that makes you feel guilty or something, but it's the truth. Then somebody responds to Pyro. Damn, bro. I've been subbed to you for a while. But to say if you aren't subbed, you should just unfollow and leave the stream because you don't want to watch a chain of ads just sounds bad. They even said a couple is fine. The viewer is just as right as you are. Now, let me see if I can pull up Pyro's Twitter. Oh, he deleted his account. Yeah, he deleted his account. That's probably the best thing he could have done. Pyro's an emotional guy. He gets mad a lot. He'll fly off the handle a lot. And it's just better for him to just not have to deal with that, you know? Yeah, it's unironically probably a good decision for him. Yeah, it's actually this is, I know people might be laughing, oh, pussy, pussy, pussy. No, this is actually probably the smartest thing that he's done. Because it's just why put yourself in a position that every single time that you do something, you just get mad. Or you cause drama or something like that. I saw this, please see new Rod Ferguson drama. That was 20 minutes ago. We're done with that one now. Now we're on to the Pyro drama. Self-restraint is mature. Yeah. Why set yourself up for failure? Exactly. Obviously Pyro is wrong. It's a factually untrue statement. Because, for example, if you have a, do I have a, let me see if my bounty board on my main channel even works. Oh no, it won't because I haven't been live for a long time. But if you have a higher viewer count on average, the bounties from your bounty board would pay you more money. And if you have a higher viewer count on average, sponsorships will go for more money, right? I mean, if you have a sponsor for a person with 100 viewers or 10,000 viewers, guess which one's going to make more money, right? So, obviously, the amount of people watching is the ultimate value adjustment for how much money you're going to make. Not necessarily ads or anything like that. If you have a bounty board, yeah, but if you have sponsors too, there's a lot of different ways that you can monetize a user that doesn't necessarily have to deal with ad block. It's whenever, this is always my perspective with any sort of doing things online, is that making money is not a right, but it's a challenge. So there are obviously going to be ways that people are going to try to get around advertising. They're going to try to avoid giving you money. So you have to figure out different ways. It's like that fucking board game Mousetrap, where it's the viewers are the mice, and you have to figure out this elaborate mousetrap to fucking get the mouse and get him and make 5 cents off of him and do that a million times, right? So that's the meta. And you guys are the mice. You guys are Jerry and I'm Tom. And it's a fun little game that we play, right? And you have to be willing to play that game if you want to make money online. Everybody's playing that game. Google's playing that game. I'm playing that game. Soda Poppin's playing that game. Bag Jones is playing that game. Diablo is playing that game. Blizzard's playing that game. Everybody's playing that game. So the point is that if you want to make money off of people, one of the best ways not to do it is to get mad at the people that aren't giving you money, because it just creates a negative environment. That's basically it. So it's radioactive. Yeah, exactly. If you don't want to watch any ads, just move to Russia, get a Russian VPN. Well, I mean, I'm sure that there's a lot of different ways that you can avoid getting ads. Definitely. You integrate positive credit with your community. Well, it's also just about being able to make money. I'll read a few comments about this, but yeah. Anyway, let's look at it real quick. Pyro is showing once more how little he values his viewer. This isn't the first time either. Well, I think that, like, really, I mean, you have to keep in mind that, like, streaming is a job. And because it's a person's job, I think it's fair for a person to be, you know, anxious or stressed out about being able to make money at their job. Like, for sure. But at the same time, like, if that's not creating, like, a good environment for the viewer, then you can't expect the viewer, it's not their job to watch you. It's your job to be entertaining. So if you're not doing your job, then they don't need to be doing theirs. So, like, that's kind of what happens. Like, I understand where he's coming from as a streamer. I get it. But it's a lot more nuanced than that. I'd say I watch Twitch almost all day. I'd say Twitch Turbo, best bang for your buck. Yeah, definitely. I wouldn't call streaming a job. Well, how is it not a job? Like, you do something and you make money. It's absolutely a job. Anybody that's trying to say, oh, but it's not a real job, yeah, you probably don't have a real job either, okay? Whatever your expectations are, it's just weird. Yeah, it's a hobby, maybe? No, I don't think so, man. If somebody's making 10 grand a month off something, that's a pretty fun hobby. I'd say that's a job. It's not a corporate job, they mean? No, I don't think that's what they mean. I think people say something's not a real job whenever they want to diminish it. They've done this all the time. Like, whether it's like, you know, professional sports, you know, being like in entertainment industry, like being an actor. This is nothing new to streaming. And usually, like, the people that are doing it are just unhappy with their life, and so they're looking for some reason why they have some sort of, like, moral superiority or some cringe shit. Anyway, that's not really the point. Let's move on. Let's see here. Having more viewers is better regardless if they all have ad block. You get preferential placement, and you're more valuable to advertisers. That's true, too. What's this here? Other posts here. I saw this. You know what? I'm gonna call it for what it is. This is a pyro point that I agree with. Sorry to tell you this because it's gonna break your little heart, but if you're a streamer that doesn't even average 3 to 5 viewers, you aren't much of a streamer. Stop walking around spouting opinions about streaming as if you have any idea what's going on. Sorry, not sorry. He's right. He is absolutely right. If you apply streaming to any other endeavor and you look at the same performance of 3 to 5 inside of that endeavor, I think that everybody would agree with this. It's like saying you're not a cook because you can microwave a TV dinner. You're not a mechanic because you can pump gas into your own car. He's actually right about this. I'm a pilot because I do a lot of Microsoft Airplane Simulator. Yes. And in any other instance of any other career or endeavor, this would be accurate. Streaming is a job, just like begging on the side of the street for handouts. Well, yeah, but you get paid more money for it. It's more like saying that you're not a professional. Well, yeah, but like that's what he's saying, right? It's not that you're not a streamer. It is actually, you're much of a streamer. But it's like going around, I think that the second sentence is really what he's talking about more. Is it like going and talking about and giving insight into streaming whenever you don't have any real success as a streamer? I think that's fair. Like it's like for me, for example, like I go on walks every day just for physical fitness because I feel like it's a good decision. Like I'm not going to go and start giving people, you know, like training advice. I'm not going to tell people like, okay, I'm not a professional athlete. You know, I'm not going to go say like, hey, this is what you should do to, you know, like improve your physical your physical situation. People really want to be streamers, have to open their annoying mouth to say their opinions that are based on perspective of having failed to grow. Fuck them. Yeah, of course. I mean, I think that, of course, this is true. It's just strange for him to be saying that since he fucked himself over multiple times in terms of success as a streamer. Well, what Pyro is saying is that even his Pyro's version of not being successful is still infinitely more successful than people that are giving their opinions about stuff. That's all I'm saying. He's invalidating the opinion of running 8 ads. Fucking sucks for the viewers. Yeah, definitely, but that's something different, and like that's not something that a streamer is going to have insight into. That's unique versus a viewer, so they can't have an opinion. Everybody can have an opinion, but just because you have an opinion doesn't mean it deserves to be valued. Like, there's a lot of people that have opinions about things, but I don't listen to them. Like, whenever I hear some actor give their take on some biological issue, you know, like transgenderism, I'm sorry, but you pretend to be a person that you're not for your job. I don't want to hear about your opinions on biology. Like, just shut up. Like, or telling me about, the COVID vaccine. Like, you don't know anything about vaccines. You're a fucking actor. You're a musician. Like, stop talking about it. Yeah, so yeah, that nice argument from authority. Well, yeah, I would say that most arguments from authority in a scientific foundation, or in a scientific ground, are actually very, very true. And I think also an argument from authority is, it's actually the opposite. Making an argument to authority, it's an appeal to authority, yeah. Well, what I'm saying is that an appeal to authority is saying, believe us because what we're saying is true and we have credentials. That is different than saying that I don't believe somebody because they don't have credentials. Do you understand? So would you listen to about transgender issues in that case? Not actors. Yeah, I would start right there. Not actors. Arguments that are logically consistent in their own basis, appeal to authority, is a logical fallacy only if the internal logic is faulty. Therefore, theoretically, it shouldn't matter who makes the argument. I think that's definitely true, but in general, you can't necessarily look at what a person's going to say and then, like, test every single little thing about it. Really perfect conversation like this? Yeah. This is like a 10-hour track. I probably should change it a little bit. Don't trust the authority, trust the evidence. Oh, you're right about that. But the point that I'm making is, like, making an argument to authority is getting people to accept something because of your authority, rather than saying that you have to have authority to have an opinion on it. So, like, rejecting something because it has no basis or authority to it is different than saying that you have to accept something because it does have authority. I understand it's very, very much a nuance, and, like, we're kind of completely going off track for this, but I do find, like, these are two very different things. Anyway, the point is that, obviously, if somebody doesn't have a lot of experience or a lot of knowledge in a field or success in it, well, I would take their opinion less seriously. I mean, are we really, like, no fucking shit? That's why they ask, like, people that are successful to give their advice on something, and they don't just find a random person. I mean, come on. It's simple. Let's take a look at this. So Pyro's upset with his viewership, puts down people not subbing, and then says, I'm a streamer. Well, these are two separate things. Also depends on the context of the debate. Well, exactly, it does. Yes, it does. Let's see here. I'm just saying the attitude around ads and ad blockers being the normal and acceptable thing to do is part of the reason why entitled viewers exist. We aren't worth anything monetarily in their eyes, and for some of us, myself included, this is our primary income. So whenever you brag or recommend ad blockers to other viewers instead of subscribing to get no ads or purchasing Twitch Turbo, you're kind of A, not supporting the streamer monetarily in any fashion, you're getting free content whenever you shouldn't be, and B, encouraging others to do the same. I guess both as a viewer who watches streams without ad block and someone who subs to channels he genuinely doesn't want to miss moments of, it's confusing why it's acceptable to treat streamers this way. It seems to be such a common thing mentioned in streams nowadays. And I'm sorry, but if this makes you feel bad, you should. We aren't traditional media. We aren't megacorps with tons of shows and billionaire backers. We are individual people, and we are often treated like we have these advantages of mainstream media that we simply do not. Lastly, it should not be frowned upon or socially unacceptable for a streamer to say things like this because of perceived advantages. Being told that you can't complain about something you've experienced, but I haven't, is pretty infuriating. Well, that's true. Definitely everybody should be able to have their opinion. So I think the boring way to do a conversation like this would be to just say Pyro bad, right? But I don't want to be boring. Let's talk about how he's right. I like getting people mad. If everybody used ad blocker, the websites that we use all the time, like YouTube and Twitch, could not function. Right? We all agree on this. Because the majority of their revenue is from advertising, and if advertising did not exist, and every single person used ad blocker, then they would not be able to make money to provide the bandwidth that you enjoy the streams with today. True. I think we can all agree on that. So how many of you guys did that just convince to turn off your ad blocker? People don't want to watch ads because they're annoying and they just want to watch the content. That's why they download movies illegally, they pirate music, and they use ad blocker. It's nothing unique with streaming. People steal movies too, and music and everything, because it's just easier to steal something and it's cheaper. That's really all there is to it. There's not really a lot else more involved. You have like some exceptions, like I feel like Spotify is a incredibly great website that provides a service as well as a product, and Spotify actually made me stop pirating music because of how great its service is. I love Spotify, and I'm not sponsored by them at all in any way. I wish I should be. Spotify, please pay me for this. But otherwise, you know, like you have Netflix doing the same thing. Netflix, a lot of people moved over and started using Netflix instead of pirating movies because it's simpler. Now that you have a bunch of other services like, you know, Disney Plus, HBO Max, Paramount Plus, Hulu, Crunchyroll, all of these other things you have to pay for, guess what? Now people are pirating movies again. More, I would say. And they're doing it more because it becomes more inconvenient. And I think Gabe Newell said it very well, that piracy is a service issue and not a money one. Now, I think that he's right. I would say he's probably right, especially like here in the US. He's probably right most of the time, especially with online games. People don't like... pirating a video game is kind of annoying to do. Like, it can be, at least. And, you know, there's risk with it, etc. And I haven't pirated a video game. Keep in mind that I haven't pirated a video game in like 10 years. But back whenever I used to, it was a real pain in the ass. And I remember the good golden days. How many of you guys remember back in the 90s and the early 2000s where you could just literally burn a disc and copy the game? Do y'all remember that? And you could use the same exact serial code? Those were the days. Red Alert 1 was like that, I remember. Me and all my friends had Red Alert 1. I think that obviously people just don't like watching ads, though. And I think also with Twitch, like, for example, I don't complain about ads on YouTube pretty much ever. Like, I have no problem with ads on YouTube. But I do have a lot of problems with ads on Twitch. Because ads on Twitch suck, and ads on YouTube don't suck that much. They changed the Netflix sharing password in EU now? Oh, I don't know what that's why I quit my sub at Netflix. Oh, I don't know. I have a Netflix subscription, and, you know, I use Netflix sometimes. It's fine. That's about it. Plus Red Alert 2, you get 2 discs, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember what that was or not. It's because Twitch is consistent stream whenever YouTube isn't. I think it's also the amount of time. Like, for example, on Twitch, I don't have to, or on YouTube, I don't have to watch 3 minutes of ads randomly. And also, like, number one, it doesn't cannibalize the content. And number two, it's less time. Like, straight up, any ad on YouTube that's more than 15 seconds, I would say like 90% of them, you can skip them after 5 seconds. So it's not even a big deal. Ads are literally in the way half the time. Yeah, you shouldn't place ads on live ongoing content. Well, no, I think you should. It's just you should do it in a way that's not bad for the content. And also, I mean, I think it's a matter of degree. Like, if you're getting ads, like, I'm sorry, but like getting a 15 or a 30-second ad a couple times an hour is not as big of a deal as getting 3 minutes of ads every 10 minutes. Like, it's just that this is a spectrum, and I think that people are upset that at Twitch, it's so far on the spectrum of seeing ads all of the time that it's just like, you're watching ads like fucking 10% of the time. It's like TV. Like, it's like, bro, remember back in the day whenever you'd watch like Terminator on like, you know, the on the original HBO, and it's like the first 30 minutes of the movie there's no commercials, and then in between, like, fucking the Terminator FX, yeah, chasing Sarah Connor through like that fucking compressing station, there's like 3 minutes of running, and then 5 minutes of commercials, and then 2 minutes of running, and then 10 minutes of commercials. Oh my god. Yeah, the movie would be like 3 hours long on TV. It would be brutal. So yeah. You said before you were thinking about doing more YouTube videos. What kind of content would that be? A lot of things. I'll probably talk about this, actually. Hassan's the only one who does ads the best way. I think a lot of people do ads that are good in different ways. Like Hassan just says, hey, top of the hour, I'm running ads. Other people that are like gameplay, like session-based gameplay streamers, I think do ads very well because they just run the ads in between the games. So like you're playing League of Legends and then the game ends and then you run 3 minutes of ads. People go and get food. It's whatever. They come back. New game started. And it's the same thing. It's less intrusive, right? It's totally fine. I think that ads become a problem whenever they're being played automatically or whenever people are playing them in positions that are inconvenient. So yeah. There used to be Flash games that rewarded you for watching ads. I think there still are, but I'm not sure. When he says we aren't worth anything monetarily, he's right. For a lot of viewers, they aren't willing to invest into the streamer. No, that's only a challenge that's meant to be... Like, I view anybody... If somebody says that you can't make money off of them, I take that as a challenge. Okay? Because if I could figure out how to make money off of somebody who doesn't want me to make money off of them, and I can do that a lot, I can make a lot of fucking money. So... you have to find out ways to make money off of people in ways that they can't control. And like Facebook does this really well because Facebook just sells your data. Like that's really smart of them to do. And that's why Mike Zuckerberg is a billionaire. Because he's making money off of people without making them pay him. OTK gotcha game win? Yes, soon. Mike? Did I say Mike? I mean, I didn't say Mike. Okay, anyway. Yeah, oh Michael Zuckerberg. Yeah, there you go. Well, anyway, that's the smart way to make money, is Mark Zuckerberg. Anyway, point is that that's the way you make money, and that's the easiest way to do it, is to make money off of people without charging them a fee. So hopefully that's what they can do, and hopefully Pyro will see the insight into this and be able to make money on his content in a way that's not cannibalistic or parasitic for his viewers. Pyro, I think, gets a lot of shit. He's an emotional guy, and he often shoots first and asks questions later, and I think it gets him into a lot of trouble. I don't think Pyro's a bad dude. I like Pyro, but, you know, I think he's definitely wrong. He's just factually wrong about the, like, you can't, like, you're not helping the streamer if you're watching with ad block on. It's not true. But, you know, I view that as a challenge. What would be your solution to this problem? You can just sell different advertising in different ways. You can make it to where it's harder for people to watch with ad block off. I've seen many people in like LSF, for example, complain about how ad block doesn't work for Twitch anymore. How many of you guys, it's harder for you to ad block on Twitch now than it was 5 years ago? I'm not saying that you can't do it. I'm saying that it's harder now than it was 5 years ago. It's way harder. I gave up? Yeah. A lot of people are giving up. So that's what I would do. If people keep jumping over your fence, just make your fence higher. Oh, they keep jumping over it? Well, then just make it higher again. Eventually, less people will jump over the fence. Why don't you run ads? Oh, this channel isn't monetized. If I'm on my main channel, like I have ads on my YouTube channel, I have ads on my main channel. I usually just run a bunch of ads at the end of my stream because like that's more convenient for me and it's more convenient for my viewers. I don't really give a fuck about it that much. If I want to make money, I just go make money. It's not a big deal. So like if I don't run ads on the Twitch channel for a day, I don't really care. However, I make it very, very clear that I don't want to have this attitude and let people use my viewpoint and my attitude towards it as a platform to shit on other streamers that aren't in my position. So, like, for example, like, I stopped taking donations, like, maybe 2 years ago or something like that. It wasn't because I was concerned about the mental health of my viewers or anything like that. It was like the link was annoying, and I just didn't feel like dealing with them. And so that was about it. And, like, I don't think that any streamer's in the wrong for taking donations. I think donations are totally fine. And I might turn mine on again at some point. Or if we're raising money for something, like people raise money for, like, McConnell's PC, for example. But, yeah, it's just not that big of a deal. So yeah, I don't want anybody to take what I'm saying here as like a, you know, a fucking a way or like an approval to go shit on other streamers. Because I don't want to virtue signal with this at all, right? This is just what I do. It's whatever.